So what's up? What's up? We have our device. Tonight we're going to get into the Diane Downs reading. And we are welcoming Cheryl Downs' spirit. I believe that was the 7-year-old that did not make it to the hospital that night. And I want her to know that her spirit is welcome here this evening. Okay. Yeah. Things are changing. I seen the candle too. So she did let me know earlier that her spirit would be available this evening for the reading, which I was excited about that. So hello, Cheryl Downs. I'm hoping that you can help me with the reading. Now, as you see, this is an EVP device. And we're going to see how it works, kind of test things out. So, Cheryl Downs, I hope that your spirit is present, because I am welcoming your spirit in this evening for our reading. And I do know that she will show up definitely as the reading goes. So, there were some interesting things I did pick up from the last reading, you guys, that we did. And as you know, it got very interesting as stated in the update that I did. So I kind of want to go ahead and get into it. And I hope you can see the device moving as we're talking more about the case and the activity that we will pick up on the device. Okay, I'll put my little sticker on there. I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Just a little bit. Let's see if I can turn down this lighting a little more. I think that will make her feel more comfortable. Okay. As you know, there is a lot of corruption with this case, y'all. And already something's picking up. The camera's changing, as you can see. All right. And we're just getting started. Very strange case, very strange night that this happened. All right. I don't want to block the device with the cards, so. Now, this card I want to go into our Other Worlds card, okay? So, what I do feel like, Cheryl Downs especially, is I feel that your mother was fighting some type of mental illness, okay? We are talking about split personality disorder or schizophrenia. And I feel like in the early 80s, there wasn't a lot of education about this illness or proper medications for the illness, okay? So this made it very difficult, and a lot of people did not talk about this illness. But I feel that your mother did some pretty scary things that you guys couldn't explain. Like, I want to say going in and out of different personalities. One in particular where she would stare off. Also, become very violent. Yes, very agitated. It was very scary for you guys because you didn't understand. I feel like she did try to talk to people about it, but it was just something at that time I don't feel like people talked about. Yes. So this was a very hidden thing, okay? And again, this was like early 80s, so people really didn't discuss mental health issues and crazy things going on in the home, you know what I mean? It was more like on the hush. But I feel she did try to reach out to a couple people, but they just brushed it off like, oh, you're just an overworked mother. You're just stressed. It's going to be okay. But I feel that was the worst thing they could have done, because I feel like your mother definitely needed help. Okay. I'm speaking to you because we have the device here. And I do feel the more we go into the reading, your spirit is becoming more and more stronger. So it's saying, listen about the story about Diane Downs, okay? And that is the silver lining. We are dealing with a mental illness. I feel she chose a lot of bad men in her life, a lot of emotionally unavailable men who were detached, who had their own situations going on, their own marriages, their own families, their own problems. And I feel that she was wanting these types of men to be available for her, but they just were not. Let's go further into the reading. Now, this is talking about when she went down that road that night. Okay? Where things kind of went crazy. I feel like where she went in and out of this personality. Okay? True enough, I feel like you children were sacrifices, okay, to have a new beginning in her life, because she wanted to be with this particular man who was very unavailable for her. I feel like he was either in a marriage or coming out of a marriage, and he just did not want the responsibility of children, all right, or getting into another marriage, if you will. So I feel like there were times this man did lie to her, okay? Told her one thing but did another. And I think she got with a lot of men, unfortunately, who lied to her about things. This is definitely a situation where I feel like she would choose the wrong men, all right? I feel this does stem from her childhood. She definitely has father issues, okay? And this was why she kind of did what she did, and also would choose the wrong people or wrong men in her life. Her father wasn't a very emotional man, and I think she was looking for love in all the wrong places, you know, kind of like the song. Because she did not get that care and that love from her father, okay? This is also what turned her into her cold personality. I feel that Diane Downs is a sociopath and definitely has traits of narcissism as well. But I want to go further into the reading. Now, those children were hurt that night, including you, Cheryl Downs, as well. You did not understand what was happening to you or what was going on. I feel you guys huddled together and you held hands. And you were very frightened. You watched each other suffer, and she also just sat there and watched you as well and did not help you or listen out for your cries, okay? Because I feel like your mother was in a very dark place and she basically blacked out, okay? This isn't the first time I feel that she's done this, though. And speaking of emotions, I feel like she also was emotionally checked out of this responsibility of being a single mother. All right. So she took you guys off somewhere alone, pretended, oh, we're just going for a drive. You know what I mean? I feel that you had a destination that night, yes, where you were supposed to go back to a place. So either it was maybe your grandparents or your father's home. I feel that your mother stopped and made a phone call and was told to bring you to them. because she was having some kind of episode or breakdown, okay? I feel like you guys didn't know what was going on. She was crying. She was frantic. She was in a state that nobody really understood, okay? But in her mind, she is at a crossroad. She doesn't really know which way to go or what to do. But she feels the burden, yes, is on her shoulder, that she has to make a decision. And it is a very unfortunate decision. Okay. I wish she just would have took y'all where she was begged to take y'all. Yes. Yes, I do. And she felt she was doing this for a come up, okay? A new beginning in her life to start this new relationship alone with this man, okay? Who was already taken, who was already in a relationship. True, there were problems he was having at home, but I feel like he was just one of those men who wanted his cake and eat it too type of person, okay? So again, she's choosing these types of men, and she's wanting love and affection from all the wrong people, all right? Again, I feel this does stem from your grandfather, the lack of emotion and the lack of love that I feel he gave your mother, Diane Downs. Yes, your mother was in this love affair. It was very toxic. It weighed very heavy on her mental state, where she already had mental issues already, okay? So this extra stress of him saying, look, I'm not going to get into this with you unless you get rid of the children. I don't want to deal with children. I don't want the responsibility of children. I never signed up for this, you know. I thought we were just sleeping together, having fun, hanging out. I didn't think things were getting this serious, okay? So it was a way of this man copping out of what came with Diane Downs, which was a great responsibility. Yes, there was something I feel that's even hereditary that your mother was dealing with. And yes, mental illness and split personality disorder and also schizophrenia is very hereditary. I'm not sure, Cheryl, if you know this was in your family very strong, but I feel like your mother definitely had issues with that, okay? And there is a lot of hidden secrets. Again, your mother did this for a come up. All right. Okay, I can feel the emotion, Cheryl. You wanted to understand your mother. You even loved your mother, but you didn't understand what was going on with her. These emotional mood swings, back and forth, these outbursts, especially that night. Car just flew. And I feel that night that your mother was in a very predatory, vibe. The light's going crazy over here. Because she wanted to be with that man, okay? She wanted to be in that relationship with him. But she knew what came with it. And that was the deal. No children. I feel this is kind of what helped trigger this decision, and not only the actions that night. Okay, yes. Again, this weighed very heavy on her mind, Cheryl, and the pressure and the stress didn't help. And I'm not making excuses for her. Absolutely, this behavior is just horrible. But it is a lot to bear. And again, she wanted, out of this motherhood, out of this responsibility. And yes, I'm moving the cards away so y'all can still see the EVP picking up things during the reading. There was a lot of faith in this situation, a lot of prayers going out. Again, I just keep picking up that particular person that night, begging for her to bring you to them. Again, I don't know if it was the grandparent or your father, but she had a choice. She absolutely had a choice. And she made her choice. But I feel she's had issues since a child. And yes, there was an investigation done, as you know, because the whole story was bogus. It didn't add up. And I think, yes, I think from the beginning, Cheryl, that people knew she was lying, okay? And I know this is your mother, and please excuse me because your spirit is present. But she's known to be a liar. She's lied about many things, okay? I'm sorry. And I'm so sorry about your death and what happened that night. I feel that you just drifted off. You didn't make it to the hospital like the others. I see you sitting, was it by your other sister? And you just drifted off, is what I keep getting. You went out of consciousness. Okay. And this is your mother, I hate to say. That is the narcissist, psychopath, sociopath card that we have here on the channel, Cheryl. Your mother strongly had these traits, okay? And I do feel it stemmed from childhood, and I'm so sorry. I'm not saying anything negative about your mother, but there definitely are some issues, all right? And I feel this goes with her lying, like what they would call a pathological liar. It's very strong with sociopaths, okay? Also narcissism. And again, this was done for some kind of come up. New beginning, new fresh start for her. She fantasized about it. She dreamed about it. This new life. It's crazy how they can end a life to start a whole new life and think nothing of it. But I feel that you will get your blind justice, and you are wanting your blind justice, yes. And you still stay in communication with your mother. You're giving her those dreams, are you? Okay. Well, make her think about it, Cheryl. You deserve it. The police, I feel like she told them one thing and it was a whole nother, but they did figure it out that the whole story was bogus. You know what I mean? About this stranger that just pulled y'all over, whatever, made the car stop, and he shot y'all. And then, of course, shot y'all to where you were harmed so bad, but then your mother just gets shot in the arm. The whole thing just didn't add up, okay? And again, she thought she got a victory out of this. This is the story about what happened that night. Diane Downs to her children, her 3 children. And there was a baby, 3 years old, in the car. There was a baby. Cheryl, what am I getting with you? I keep getting you, somebody saying my chest hurts. My chest. There's so much blood in the car. It looks like a massacre. There's so much blood in the car. And I feel that you bled out, so to speak, like could not stop the bleeding. And you drifted off. Yes. Oh my God. Again, this was done for a rebirth in her life. I do feel like she was on something that night or drinking. She was out of her mind that night, y'all. Seriously. And I feel that she had been drinking or doing something. And I do feel like you guys felt like she's a traitor. How could she do this to us? You guys never thought in a million years that she would do this to you. You trusted her as your mother. Your care is in her hands. And you trusted that. And she betrayed you. The hardest thing was for you seeing the baby. I don't want to cry. You were so concerned about the baby. And you guys sat in the back holding hands and crying. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Oh my God. I hear it. I hear your cries. I hear your screams. I hear your fear. I see you huddling and holding hands and blood just going everywhere. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. Okay, well, your mother is locked away, as you know. This is where she belongs, okay, for what she has done. You also have another sibling that she had in lockdown, okay? So, yes. All right. And this was done by dark forces. Yes, Cheryl, this was evil. This was very dark. It was not coming from a good place. It was selfish. It was self-centered. It was just evil, okay? And I feel like someone's been, you know, just keeping their eye on her because no one believes her story, y'all, okay? Nobody believes that. But she did feel trapped in this life, in this motherhood, okay? She felt trapped not having a love in her life. But she couldn't keep a love because she's incapable of love, okay? So to ask for something that you're not able to give is just crazy. Which is why I feel like That's why she was looking in all the wrong places and expecting that from all the wrong people. All right. And I feel also she was having money issues at the time. You know, being a single mother, whether it was the early 80s or not, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy task. Okay. And this was another thing that she was stressing about. Again, doing this for a come up, this will set her free. This will level her up, is her way of thinking, yes, at the time. Lots of secrets. What happened in the home with you guys, Cheryl? I feel like lots of manic episodes that y'all never told anybody or discussed that was going on with your mother. I feel you were fearful of her at times. Yes. Okay. And again, she has issues with her father. It was hard. I feel like she made you guys feel like you had to actually choose between her and your father. I feel like she spoke poorly of your father. And it kind of confused y'all because you couldn't see what she was talking about. But again, this whole thing about her playing victim, all right? She's always the victim, as you know. But she's not a saint herself, okay? So I feel like her doing this actually put y'all in a bad emotional state, yes. And it just made y'all feel some type of way because you didn't want to choose between your mother and your father. And I feel that especially that night, you guys feared your mother. Yes. I get it. I see her manic episodes and her flipping out. It's scary. I think she really needed help, Cheryl, okay? For her illness, which is not just, you know, her being a sociopath and also slight narcissism, but she really had mental issues, illnesses that were just tearing her apart is what I get. She was being torn apart. And she knows she had to do this in a certain amount of time. This man was giving her an ultimatum, and it was like, choose what you gonna do, what you gonna do. And the crazy thing is he really didn't want to be with her all like that. Right. So it's crazy. But we are learning more about your case, Cheryl, and we know that your spirit definitely wants war. This is what your mother did. This is who she is known to be. Since that night, and there are a lot of theories about that night and about this case, but it boils down to selfishness, sacrifice, self-centeredness. She's very selfish. It's such a selfish act. Oh. And I just get sure that you love that baby so much. The youngest one, the little baby. I don't want to tear up though. I don't want to tear up. Okay, we have our other cards. Now, I feel she had been doing things, though, in and out the system. You guys trusted her. It's your mother. Regardless of her manic episodes and her illnesses, you loved her. You trusted her. There is a missing piece. And I feel the medical records prove that she's the one who did it. But there was a lot of evidence covered up. But we see the cracks that appear. We see that she took you far off that night. Yes. And that your spirit is no longer in the physical realm, Cheryl. Again, way off. And I feel that you are still praying for your mother, despite the decision that she made, which she thought would be a success. Because she was trying to pin that on somebody that didn't even exist. This was made up in her mind. This was someone she created. A figment of her imagination. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, Cheryl. I'm so sorry that happened that night. You must have been frightened to death. And taking on that path in a secluded place. All right. Oops, I didn't mean to bump that. We are done with these cards. Cheryl, feel free to use this device to come through. Let us know what is correct. And if we are on the right track thus far. Okay, we're going to use these other cards here. Okay, good, good. We need to know that we're on the right track. And again, feel free to use the device at your will. So this was kind of an act of terrorism. I mean, you guys were scared to death. I feel you were being bullied. I feel you were cornered. There was nowhere to go. There was no escape. You're sitting there wondering what in the world is going on. You don't have answers. It's dark. It's a secluded place that's already frightening. Your mother's flipping out. You don't know what to do. So you huddle together. You hold hands through the whole ordeal. Oh God, I don't want to cry. Please. Okay. I'm so sorry, Cheryl. I don't know what to say. I don't. You can't make this up though, gun. She really thought she was going to get over on this too. In a big way. Was there even money involved? Like she thought she was going to get some type of payout? Exposure, something? It's just weird. But looky what came up, mother. Yeah, the mother did it. Diane Downs. Police. Kept secret. Trapped. That's the biggest feeling I get, Cheryl, is that you guys were trapped in that car. It's a really strong feeling of having nowhere to go, but to support each other. Oh, so sad. Oh my gosh. Okay, we do have above ground. I hear the loud screaming. Everything means something in these readings. You guys are screaming really loud. Frantic. All right, evidence. Very good, Cheryl. I appreciate your spirit in a very big way tonight. Thank you so much for your courageous spirit and your support. We also have our other cards. So this is saying family, a victim or victim's family was familiar with the killer, of course. The murder weapon will provide valuable clues, of course. Killer profile indicates narcissist or sociopath. We did state that, didn't we, Cheryl? Killer has a history of committing crimes. Yes, your mother had been in the system before. Spontaneous behavior or mental illness contributed to the crime, and we did state that as well. Okay. We stated those things as well. All right. Give me one moment, Cheryl. I shall return. I just want to look up one thing here. Okay, Cheryl, I am back and I'm praying that you are still with us this evening. Wonderful, wonderful. I am ecstatic to hear that, and I hope that you are comfortable. And despite the truth in the reading, please excuse me if I've said anything to offend you. We love you being here with us this evening. And a lot of people don't believe in my ability, but you have proven some things tonight. And how this meter is going way down because of your presence, okay? And I just want to thank you again for being here this evening and giving me the opportunity to read you. And your story, to get your story out and also your feelings out as well, okay? I know this happened way back in the early 80s, but it's still very important to this day. And you still have people who care and are very interested in your story, even, believe it or not, in 2024. So again, we just love your spirit being here this evening. Thank you for helping with the reading, shedding some light, okay? Thank you. I mean, I just feel so privileged to even have your spirit in the room. with many other spirits that you may see around as well that have been called up in my little space here, that are probably still hanging around. But we do welcome your spirit here tonight. I wanted to see if you're okay with having a one-on-one session here. I call this the meditation part of the reading, where I actually ask you questions, if that's okay. If you're, oh great, I'm glad you're comfortable. All right. What I want to know is, even though this happened, and I see this a lot in these cases, Cheryl, is there still a great sense of love and forgiveness for your mother, despite what happened that evening? Yes, I find it very fascinating, that the children that are on the other side with the heavenly spirits that they have now are able to forgive and understand more about why people do the things they do, and the state that your mother was in at that time. And I think it's beautiful that you still love and forgive her very much. It's just beautiful. And I want to get to that point in my life as well, Cheryl, because I too was, let down by my mother. And so I understand, not to this degree, but I do understand those feelings, okay? So I wanted you to know that you're not alone. And a lot of people out here feel the same betrayal, okay? But yet are working on forgiveness and understanding. Okay, wonderful. I do want you to know that as far as I know, your other siblings are doing fine, okay? And I feel it was very traumatic what happened. But in some way it has bonded you spiritually, where that can never be broken. Yes, okay. The candle's moving different, everything. All right, wonderful. As you know, your mother is a lot older now. She's still incarcerated, as far as I know. And do you still visit her from time to time? Okay. Because I feel like you definitely, your presence comes to her even in dreams. Yes, okay. Is it to remind her of what she's done? Or is it because you forgive her and you love her? Okay, so you're saying I've accepted what has happened, and I just need her to move forward, okay? You are gonna have the opportunity of seeing her again, if you know what I mean. And unfortunately, to this day, I feel, Cheryl, that she still denies her involvement that night. And it's really sad, because you would think after all these years that she would just give it up and confess, right? And want forgiveness and repentance. But unfortunately, that's not what sociopaths do, okay? You have a very beautiful spirit, Cheryl. I feel like you would have had a lot to give to the world. especially in motherhood. Because I get you being a nurturer, okay? And you really loved the baby. I keep getting so much. You would have been a wonderful mother. Unfortunately, this was robbed from you. Yes, and I know that's just a horrible thing. I have no words. Do you feel that your mother will ever confess or tell the truth? Okay. So that is a yes for me. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So I feel like, is that here or in the afterlife? Because I feel like it's more in the afterlife when we have to confess and tell the truth. And we have no choice but to confess for our actions, correct? Yes, absolutely. All right, let the people know that there's something after this. What we do in this life is carried with us, okay? A lot of people don't think that, but that's true, isn't it, Cheryl? And that's something we need to think about when we do things to other people, all right? I love your spirit. I love it. It's very nurturing, very welcoming, very warm. All right. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I know you're still here in a strong way. I know. I was really just thinking about what to ask next or what to say, what would be proper, right? Because I feel like you're so past what happened that night. Like you're ready to move on in a positive way. You don't want to dwell on that darkness. You don't want to keep reliving that over and over and over again. Right. You want to move on into a positive light, if you will. And that's where you want to dwell. You don't want to keep dwelling there because that night was like purgatory. Okay. And you're not trying to be in purgatory because you don't deserve that. You were a child. You're a baby. Okay. This is it's so emotional that I'm seeing her holding my head. You know, the things that I'm sensing, because you know I'm an empath, Cheryl, so it's hard, you know what I mean? And then I also can see things, so you put that together, it's just a lot that I have to deal with, you know? And then talking with the spirits, hearing what they have to say is very emotional and very strong, okay? So we're talking about when I have to talk to the victims, you know, it's rough. So I don't feel like she's ever going to tell the truth in the physical realm, Cheryl. It's very unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. She has really wonderful children coming from such a dark place, such a dark spirit that she has. She has birthed some wonderful children with wonderful spirits. It's so opposite. And you definitely did not deserve what happened that night. Not at all. I feel you were fighting for your life. Yes, you were trying to stay with the siblings. You were trying so hard not to drift off, but you could not help it. You had lost so much blood, and you were going in and out of consciousness, I see. But you tried to hold on, especially for the baby. You tried to hold on. And y'all were still holding hands, which is the crazy part. You held hands through it all. That's so beautiful. It shows the strength and love that you guys have for each other. and how you guys tried to protect one another. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Oh my gosh. Kind of like the Three Musketeers, all right, is what I get. And that is just so beautiful. And I feel like your strength, Cheryl, is what kept them alive. And your angelic spirit was looking over them. And you gave them strength. And you have a very loving, strong spirit. And I personally want to thank you for being with them that night. Because I feel like it's you that kept them hanging on, okay? I don't want to keep going into that dark night. It's too ugly. So I want to end things on a beautiful note with you. Again, I want to thank you for bringing your spirit forth tonight during the reading and helping me to get answers and guidance on what kind of went down. And we have not forgotten about you, even in 2024. And we still are praying for you and your siblings. And unfortunately, I wish again that your mother would come forward with the truth. But she's just not about the truth, okay? The truth is not in her. And we understand that. We accept that, right? Yes. And we will move forward in light and love where you are now, okay? And you're still looking over your siblings. To this day, it's just a beautiful thing. It just is so beautiful. Again, thank you. Thank you so much. And I want you to have a wonderful evening. And you may be dismissed. Thank you very much, Cheryl. All right, y'all. It's taking a while for her spirit to leave, all right? And that's okay. It's okay. I'm going to end the reading here. It's very emotional. And this is the reading about Diane Downs. This happened in the early 80s. Y'all can go look up the case, and I'll also put it in the description for you. Whew. It's very emotional. You guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for watching. Good night.